What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap?
Hello, welcome back. I'm not going to do the open and all that. Okay. Merry Christmas. What's up, local meme dealer? Merry Christmas, man. Hopefully you're seeing this.
This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard.
As we're now playing Planet Zoo. Thank you, Plural. Thanks for welcoming me back. And that's really loud in my ear. And we got that going, which is Planet Zoo in the background. I'm going to do some other social media things. And should be good to go in a second. Eggs for this. Planet Zoo? Zoo? Tycoon? Animals? Strategy? Video game? Who makes this? This is Paradox, right? Is this Paradox game? First playthrough?
This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary.
Let's see what else. Trying to think what else I could. They have open world simulation. Oh, really? You know, I remember hearing that from people that I went to school with. I was always a Protestant, Pentecostal, charismatic, so we were always in English, but I remember everybody telling me about it.
This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring.
Yeah, I was in I grew up in a very Catholic Lutheran town as a Pentecostal charismatic, and then even the Pentecostal that I knew was United Pentecostal. He was a Oneness Pentecostal. Yep. And I was a Trinity Pentecostal. So we were even different Pentecostals, which was crazy. Technically, the group or denomination that I was part of and still am would be Word of Faith, if you wanted to like nail it down. I'm trying to think of tags. I think it's enough tags. And then Planet. This is all the stuff I do pre-stream. Planet Zoo for the game is family friendly. Yes. Good one. Family friendly. Advertiser friendly.
This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary.
All right. Save. Okay, so we got that done. Then Probably copy this. Copy. Put it into Hootsuite. Post it on the Facebook 7-star channel. Or not channel. There's a Facebook 7-star general page. Got Cyberpunk. What's up, Moneyball? Got Cyberpunk. Why is it such a failure? I heard so many people like it when it first came out, and then I heard so many people hate it. Then also Parlor. Merry Christmas, Planet. Let's see. I heard a lot of people like it, and then out of nowhere I started hearing the hate. What? Probably going too in depth on this right now, but okay. What about it didn't you like? Wow, yeah, I got too into this. Okay, almost done. And then we'll get to playing the game. It is not set for current gen, set for next gen like PS or like PC, yeah, like you were saying. Gotcha. Like, they didn't optimize anything for the current gen. Let's parlay. Okay, let's get into the game then. All right, and then I'm going to. All right, there we go. Okay, so you said because it's not set for current gen, that's the problem. It was set for next gen. Like PS5 and the Series X, not PS4, Xbox One X. The graphics were the reason people are hating that it was not meant for the current gen, it was meant for next gen consoles. Gotcha. Huh. I guess we're gonna start by creating my avatar. Okay. To adult, large, male. Probably more like that. Here. I mean, I'm balding, but I'm not that bad. I don't have like a buzz cut. like a basic buzz cut. Enough for me, I guess. There you go. Nice khakis. Here we go. That's my avatar. Place my avatar. All right. Career mode. Franchise. Build zoos all around the world and trade your animals. A little more north. Oh, render dash. All right. Builders used offline with full economy and challenge. Guess we do career mode. Career scenarios. Your franchise. Okay. Ah. Huh. Challenge mode is kind of what I used to do, I think. To progress through your career.
Yeah.
Career. Just tutorials. Let's do the tutorial. Stately homeschooling. Goodwin House is renovated and renamed after its purchase by Bernard Goodwin in the 1980s. Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. More recently has undergone a further renovation to update many of the habitats and facilities, but due to various issues, the work hasn't quite been completed. Where you come in, okay? Interesting. Oh, Cyberpunk? Yeah, it's set for a high-end PC. Yeah. Or next-gen console. Yeah. Well, the PS5... I just went to commercial, so come back. Application boards and speakers only successful if big yes. The animal you're linked to is close. Other paths can be help reduce crowd congestion. Merry Christmas, local meme dealer. Good to see you, man. Any big plans for Christmas, local meme?
Sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me.
Okay.
And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But
Just a second, I'll
we're in the
answer it
middle
in
of
a
a
second.
big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our
Oh,
old
gotcha.
contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off.
Okay.
Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Okay.
Hello there. From that
What's up,
rosy,
Nancy?
fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat. Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
Okay.
This is where you can find out
I'm gonna
all
stop for a
kinds of
second, Nancy,
information
your,
about your animal.
question.
The most important thing being
Ends up releasing all the lions,
overall
yeah.
welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Okay, so what I was saying is that the PS5 actually has like the graphics and like stuff inside of it that that's actually better than PC in a lot of ways. Because AMD's like current gen stuff is based off a lot of the PS5 technology. Hey, Moore's Law's dead. That's the channel you need to go watch. Now, it'll soon be eclipsed in about a year or two by the PC. But right now, the PS5... Yeah, I've seen it, yep. That's what I'm told. Look at that.
See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Didn't mean to open that. Get lion habitat. PS5 nothing on 380s. I don't know. 380s lost to AMD.
All the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the
So
big
much
cats,
so that
and there
Nvidia
can be
had to
as
do it
many as
again.
40 lions in a pride, although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions
AMD had to
are
redo their
awesome,
lineup.
which is precisely
I mean,
why I have their
Nvidia
training
to
instead these days.
redo their lineup
Anyway,
because it was so
how
weak.
about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
It is actually with Sony's own special sauce that they allowed them to use for the PC stuff.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Adoption place, animal trade.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs
See,
for our
will my
zoo.
city
Just
skylines
click on them and select
work?
Adopt from the side menu.
It will.
Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
Peach wants me to do what? You want me to do? Hey, what's up?
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home? When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
There they are. Hey, Merry Christmas. Guessing you're from the UK? Good. The happy. Okay. Oh, going good, going good. Just first time of playing Planet Zoo, so bought it on the Steam sale.
Eu não sei se é o One
A great animal, huh? Okay, what else in the tutorial here? Set up the habitat. What do you need? They're hungry and thirsty. Okay. I remember this from Planet Coaster. Habitats. Food and water. Let's How do I get out of this part of the tutorial? Ah! And habitat. I must still be in like the tutorial because I don't see anything here. Where did the lady go? Please select an item. There's no item to select. Food bowl is in habitat. I know. I'm there. I'm stuck in the tutorial. Ah! Food and water. Food bowl. All. Where? I don't see it. I'm stuck. Where is Nancy? Nancy! Top one? Architecture? Floors? Yeah, I selected that. There's nothing to select here. Nothing. Looks bugged. Yeah, I'm in the tutorial mode. And I didn't...
When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat.
Oh, I didn't
I've
locate
marked
the trade center.
centre's location,
Gotcha.
So let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Gotcha. Okay. Now we're at feeding station.
Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about.
Okay, got it.
They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment.
Okay.
Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information.
Here we go.
Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl. Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare. Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
Hey, thank you for the follow, Hoodtide. Okay. Ostrich habitat. Okay, so these guys are gonna eventually get better, huh? Look at that enrichment. Okay. I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana. Where are you at? Okay, highlighted.
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner. Ah, that's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay.
She's cool with time
Job
travel?
number one here is to add
She can
a
master
habitat
time and
before we
space?
complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat.
How are you talking to me?
After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Okay, pause time, add habitat gate. Oh, barriers, okay. Oh, I see. You can put it in. I got you.
Right. Let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
It's called. That's cool. You do that. Okay. Oh, this is very much like Planet Zoo. Planet Zoo. I am playing Planet Zoo. Like Planet Coaster. I wasn't thinking of. Oh, they want me to go right up to the path. I got you. way to increase it? Oh. This is where I kind of wish there was keys on this.
Good work. Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in. There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them. Now, before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver the ostriches, eh?
Nope.
By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
Whatever. Okay.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Or rotate. Oh, there it is. I got it. Hey,
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals. You'll need to rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
ah, there it is. Cool. Okay, sounds good. Ah, yes. This is like Planet Coaster.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we? Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off. Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away. Righty, your next job is to build a habitat from scratch. And concrete and glass, I expect. So go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier. Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers. Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode. Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool.
Yeah.
Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking
Cool.
and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of at least 3.7 meters. Now that the habitat is in place, don't forget to put down a donation box near to your viewing areas. We need every dollar we can get. Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch. Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
Ah! I gotta replace that later. I didn't put any windows in. I tried to replace it, it wouldn't let me. I'll have to do that after.
Whilst our
Okay.
trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them. This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into Terrain and selecting the water tool. Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat? Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely, the bad weather. Although, given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
Keep thinking that this is gonna rotate. It's not gonna rotate. It's
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel. Rightio, click on the Terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat. Okay then, open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
So I'm guessing like the white is
Right
optimal.
then, all
Yeah,
animals need
okay,
plants
I get
and
what's
trees
happening.
from their own biome
Gotcha.
or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, or Asia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat. To get a perfect fit, use plants from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia. Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab. Now, as you can see, some of the plants currently in the habitat aren't quite right for the tiger, like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want. You can find all of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can use the filters to only show the types of plants you want to see. In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
All right. Okay. This does remind me of like Roller Coaster Tycoon, the zoo part of it. Okay.
They say that good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave. Even if you
No,
did poke
I
a
gotta
hole
change
in
it to
their
glass.
fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
Right, let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
I've doomed the place. I've doomed it. I've doomed the place. Okay, where are we going?
Now then, just find one of the peafowls and select them to open their information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing. Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese. Expand their social welfare, and we can get a bit more detail.
Yep.
Now, they've clearly got plenty of space, and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong. Right, as you can see, the peafowls need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt female
I think I'm getting how
peafowls.
this works.
Off you pop to the animal market then.
Oh. What? Okay. Oh, they want me to buy all three.
Good work on those peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her.
Okay.
Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests. Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot, even with the terrible British weather. You should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat. As you can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered. You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them. It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopards' terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
It's 2:30 or 2:23 a.m. here, Central US time. Hey, thank you for the follow, Caroline.
Now then, all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section.
Fish you want? Okay, first things first. Let's fix this. No one can see it. Edit barrier. Here we go. Yep. In Terrain Tool, thing called Intensity to take it down to 20%, make things look better. Oh, okay.
As you can see, this list shows you the animal's overall welfare. So if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Yeah, this is very Tycoon-esque. Oh, whoops, I got the wrong one. I gotcha. Okay. That's good. Your game crashed? Oh no. Okay, so which one do you think is a, apparently nope. Okay, so which one's a turtle? If I push on an animal. I mean, I'm looking, and I don't see anything here. Sort by species? Ah! Thank you. Boom! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, looky there. Hey! Merry Christmas, man. Thank you. Oh, man. There we go. That works. So those were feeders. Rubber ducky. There we go. That works. Okay, okay. I'm starting to feel better now. Okay, next. Oops, I didn't want to move them. I thought movement like go to them. Zebra. Elephants. If I go to the P file, I'll take out the planet. Oh, okay.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I think it's fair to say that you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that. If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
Okay, cool. Okay, so we're through the tutorial. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. Back. Okay, I'm going to go through all the tutorials here. You know, it's kind of probably tedious. Probably making all you guys scream right now. What are you doing? Like I'm kind of fumbling through it. I think I got a good half hour to an hour left in me, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be one of those one more click games where time suddenly just vanishes. And then you wonder,
What happened to my 12 hours?
what happened? Back to your zoo now? Nice. What happened to my 12 hours? Merry Christmas, everybody. Good to see you. I just bought Planet Zoo on the Steam summer sale. Or winter sale, I mean. Summer sale, yeah. Maybe it is getting late for me.
Welcome to Madagascar. It's quite the change of scenery from dreary old England, huh? Apart from the weather, I suppose. They don't call these places rainforests for nothing. The zoo you'll be working in is an ape sanctuary, where we're doing vitally important conservation work. Not just for apes, but for all kinds of species. But apes, well, apes are some of the closest relatives to humans there are. And yet, the way the world treats them is like, well, very much like some of us treat our actual relatives. Anyway, that's why I'm determined that our operation here does some good. If we can all leave some part of the world in a better state than we found it, we'll have lived lives worth living. And speaking of states, I have a horrible
great time
feeling
on
I
it.
left
Nice.
the house in the right one.
Looking forward to
When
it.
I get back, I expect my life won't be worth living at all.
Remember Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and they had the zoo part in it.
What do you think of Madagascar, then? Bit warm for my taste, to be honest. Anyway, this is Bernie's primate sanctuary. It's not just primates, though. We've got all sorts of animals. So why don't
I don't
we
know
go
if I
and have
did
a
or
look at
not.
some of them, eh?
I got the
We'll start by taking a
I
look at
got
the
like the
red
big
ruffed
thing,
lemurs.
so
They're the ones that look like they should be in a
I
Shakespeare
guess that was all
play.
like all the DLC.
Come on, let's head over to them.
At least I think I did. Hit the highlighted area. Oh,
Red ruffed lemurs are found in the rainforests of Masoala. That's in northeast Madagascar. They can actually live anywhere from 15 up to 25 years. Fancy that, eh? Okay, when you're ready, let's go find our Bornean orangutans.
orangutans.
The Bornean orangutan is such a marvellous creature. They're always a big favourite at any zoo they feature in, and they're also the biggest tree-dwelling animal on the planet. Assuming you don't count any lions that got stuck up one. Oh, why don't you take a better look at them? Open up their information panel and go into the animal camera. Aren't they just incredible? When you're ready, let's go and have a look-see at some of our beautiful bonobos. They're quite the characters.
I still am thinking Q and E should be rotate and not up and down, but look good. Rotates in the mouse.
Oh dear! It looks like we've arrived just in time. One of the habitat barriers has collapsed.
I'm not sure.
And wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it. We'll need to catch them. But before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too. Select the habitat boundary to bring up the habitat information panel. Good. Now open the animals tab.
The animals tab? Oh, over here. Okay.
And click on Box All Animals to box up the remaining bonobos. Now, we'll need a vet to recapture that escaped bonobo, but it seems our last one left to do some research in the wild. Not an ideal situation. So, we'll need to hire a replacement sharpish. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area. You can find all of your staff in here, but there's no time to go looking at their particulars at the moment. Hire a vet. Now, click on one of the paths to place the vet in your zoo. Great. Now let's deal with our escapee before they can cause too much havoc. Use the animal alerts to jump to the escaped bonobo. And then click on the Call Vet button to call the vet over to capture it. Okay, that's a relief. So while the vet deals with our bonobo friend, let's go fix up their habitat so they can't escape again. Head back over there.
Right.
As you can see, the barrier's collapsed. Someone's taken their eye off the ball, obviously. Let's get this one replaced. Select the barrier and then we'll edit it. Delete the broken section of barrier and replace it with a brand spanking new one. Good. Now that we've done that, we need to make sure to add climb-proof barriers to the top. That way the bonobos won't be able to climb out. Just make sure you've got the correct piece of barrier selected when you do that. Okay, so go into the options section and select which side the climb-proof barrier needs to go on. And don't get it wrong. We're more worried about bonobos climbing out than guests climbing in. Nicely done. And I think it's high time we unboxed those bonobos, wouldn't you say? The poor mites will get sad if we leave them in there for too long. Select the habitat barrier to bring up the habitat information panel again. And then open the Animals tab. And finally, click on Unbox All Animals to let them out. I expect some of them are fair bursting for the toilet. So, it turns out that as well as the old vet leaving, the zoo's mechanics did too. We'll need to hire a couple of new ones so we can help stop any more breakouts. You see, mechanics do all sorts of helpful things around the zoo, but one of their most important jobs is taking care of the habitat barriers. Without mechanics around to repair them, the barriers will crack, crumble and fall down. And before you know it, we'll be overrun with escaped animals. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area again. Hire a mechanic and then click on a path to place them in the zoo. Oh, gosh, we have been busy, haven't we? Good work there. I'm off for a cuppa. Oh, I think Bernie wants a word with you.
Oh, I hear you had a bit of an issue with an escaped bonobo. The main thing is that you dealt with it swiftly. And more importantly, without the animal stealing someone's clothes, putting them on, and then walking out of the front gate.
You see, another key responsibility for our vets is animal research. Researching animals allows vets to unlock new enrichment items, additional information for our education resources, enhanced breeding programs, and improvements to food quality. Oh, the animals' food, not the vets. It'll take more than a research grant to improve the staff canteen. Anyway, as you can see, research is a key part of running your zoo. In order for a vet to undertake research, they require a research centre. And once again, that's something that this zoo is missing. So let's build one. I've marked out an area for you to put it. Now, you've probably noticed that there's already a building where I want you to build the research centre. Don't worry. You see, the building that's currently there is actually a hollow shell, so we're able to place our new building inside of it. If you select the research centre for placement and then hover over the shell, you'll see that it asks if you want to add the research centre to the existing building. Okay, click to add it to the building. Oh, but that won't place it in just yet, though. First, we'll need to rotate our research centre so it automatically connects to the path when we place it.
Oh, got it.
Right. Splendid work. Now that we have a brand spanking new research centre, we can give our vets something to do in there. Oh, by the way, it's worth noting that the vets will only do research when they're not required to do any other jobs. That said, you can change what jobs a vet does via their information panel. But let's not worry about that just now. So, let's get our vet researching ring-tailed lemurs. Go into the zoo section and select Vet Research. Here, you can see a list of all the animals present in your zoo, and also all the potential diseases that can occur. Now, drag and drop your vet onto the ring-tailed lemur to start their research. Actually, thinking about it, I'm not sure we've got any education boards or speakers by the lemur's habitat. Let's head over there and add some, so our guests can learn all about the furry little delights.
Yeah.
First First off, let's pop down 2 education boards. Place them on the habitat barriers at a height that guests can see, or, if you like, pop them down on a stand.
L'amour è full per spero.
Okay, now that they've been put into position, we have to tell them what animal to display information about. Select one of the education boards to bring up its information panel. And from the drop-down list, select ring-tailed lemur. Although I'm sure that last part was obvious. When you link an education board or a speaker to an animal, you need to make sure that said animal is close by. If it isn't, the guests will get confused and won't learn as much. Okay, now that we've done the education boards, let's pop down a pair of speakers. Speakers play audio to the guests so they can learn while they look at the animals, instead of having to go through the laborious process of reading. Oh, one thing to bear in mind is that it's important not to put the speakers too close together. If you do, the guests won't be able to understand what's being said.
Ah, I get it.
Now we simply need to link the speakers to the ring-tailed lemurs, just like you did with the education boards. Fantastic! Oh, it's worth remembering that education boards and speakers both need power to work. They won't do much good without it. Oh, it looks as though our vet has completed their research on ring-tailed lemurs. We'll need to collect the results. We can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into the vet research area. Go on, collect your research rewards. Just so you know, vets will continue to research an animal even after successfully completing a research level. I
Really
suppose
fun.
when you're in the zone, you're in the zone.
Reminds me of Planet Coaster. I feel like I'm still a little
Well, now that
clunky
we've
on
enriched
it,
the lives of our
but
guests, let's enrich the lives
making
of our
sense.
ring-tailed lemurs.
I like it.
Some animals, like lemurs, will have a climbing need. That means they have a requirement for a certain amount of climbing space, and you can fulfill that requirement by building them a climbing frame. Let's find out how much more climbing space our lemur friends need, shall we? Select one of them and bring up their information panel. Next, click on the Terrain tab.
Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Now, as you can see, the lemurs need quite a lot more climbing space. But as it happens, I've already got a climbing frame blueprint built for you. So you can either pop that down or build one yourself from scratch. By the way, it's not always just climbing needs that you have to worry about. Other animals might need a certain amount of water in their habitat so they can go for a swim. They certainly do keep us on our toes.
Yeah, I think it's really fun, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, so climbing needs.
Now, as you can see, the lemurs need quite a lot more climbing space. But as it happens, I've already got a climbing frame blueprint built for you. So you can either pop that down or build one yourself from scratch. By the way, it's not always just climbing needs that you have to worry about. Other animals might need a certain amount of water in their habitat so they can go for a swim. They certainly do keep us on our toes. Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them. They're going to absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though? Nicer food. But that's true of all of us, though, isn't it? You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on. Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat. Lovely. Now select the Animals tab.
Okay.
There we go. As you can see, we can set the food quality in here. Just click on the drop-down menu and select Grade 2 Food Quality. Grade 2 Food Quality. My mouth's already watering. So,
All
a
right.
new climbing frame and better food. Oh, you've really spoilt those lemurs rotten. Now, I think it's time we looked at one of the zoo's most important responsibilities, releasing animals into the wild. You see, when we feel an animal is ready, we can release them into the wild. But what makes an animal a good candidate for release? Well,
Okay.
their age is an important factor. I mean, we can't release an animal that's a juvenile, just as we can't release one that's gotten too old. They'll also need to be fertile. After all, the idea is to repopulate the wild, so the best candidates will have a high fertility gene. And together, the age and fertility of a candidate will determine how many conservation credits will be rewarded when we release them. Now, conservation credits are vitally important. They're the lifeblood of your zoo, because earning them allows you to adopt even more animals. And what's more, the animals you can adopt will be of a higher quality. So, with that in mind, let's pop over to our orangutan habitat.
All right. We're here.
Okay, I'd like you to find Agang, the Bornean orangutan in the habitat, and select him, please. You can either click through each orangutan in turn, or select the habitat barrier, go to the Animals tab in the Habitat Information panel, and find him in the Animals list.
Which one again? Woo-doo!
I
You get
know
conservation
it's sad to see him
points.
go, but he'll be happy out in the wild. And he's a wonderful candidate for release. Young, strong, and fertile. Excellent work there. You've definitely got potential, you know.
Basically, everything.
Ah, I see you've been doing some homework. Although it hardly seems like work when you're learning about something as adorable as a ring-tailed lemur. I
It doesn't
imagine I'd
feel
have
like
got much
work
better
when you're
grades at
having
school
fun.
if there'd been less algebra and more algebra.
At my simulated
Tortoises.
job. that I fly through the air.
Okay,
Like a-
so far we've done a lot of work with habitat animals, but
Like-
now it's time to
like a
learn all
ghost.
about exhibit animals. Let's build a brand new exhibit. I've marked an area for our new exhibit. How about we head over there?
Oh, man, I am getting tired now suddenly. I want to keep playing. All right, marked an area.
Lovely. Now
Look at
let's
here.
build a new exhibit in the gap that's been left. Just add it to the building like we did with the research centre earlier, then pop it into the gap.
Whoa.
Perfect. The next thing to do is adopt an exhibit animal to go in there. How about a Gila monster? Open up the exhibit trading section and adopt one. Just as we do with habitat animals, we need to send the Gila monster to the exhibit. Click on the exhibit to send it there.
That's kind of cool.
When you send an animal to an exhibit, it'll automatically be given the correct setup. But that doesn't mean it's completely ready for them. So let's finish it off. We'll start by adding some enrichment items. Click on the exhibit to bring up its information panel.
Okay.
Good. Now click on the Layout tab. Oh, well, it looks like we've only got the enrichment level 1 items unlocked at the moment. Never mind, let's turn on at least one of them for the Gila monster. As I'm sure you know by now, you can unlock more enrichment levels by having one of your vets do some research. Now we'll also need to set the temperature and humidity in the exhibit. These are vitally important for keeping our Gila monster happy and comfortable. Click on the Climate tab. Here, you can see the Gila monster's desired temperature and humidity. You can change both of these by adjusting the dials below. Make sure it's going to be nice and cozy.
Celsius? How am I going to work in Celsius?
Now we're full of feathers, Sparrow.
They don't use freedom units at the
That's
zoo?
the ticket. And the last thing we need to look at is setting up the different windows. So click on the Windows tab. You can edit and customize any of
It's
the
a joke,
windows on
people,
an
it's a joke.
exhibit. A window can be closed and blank, or have a 2-dimensional background, or even a 3-dimensional background on it. Why don't you have a play around with the options? There's also an exhibit education board. Pop them down near your exhibits to teach your guests about them. Let's add one now.
Hold on, you told me to have fun with it. Trying to find the right window. There you go. 3D facade. Ooh. Okay. He's rushing me. Place one exhibit addition. It's great for kids.
like the education boards and speakers we put down for the ring-tailed lemurs, you'll need to link these to the Gila monster. Go on. Lovely stuff. Now our guests can learn all about our venomous friend here. Right, now, I've got a bit of a big job for you. I need you to increase the number of species in the zoo. You'll probably want to adopt both habitat and exhibit animals to do so, which will mean building plenty of new habitats and exhibits for them. Go on, off you pop. I'll check in with you when you're almost done.
Pendo says I'll ram over.
Okay, so I'm in the what? Okay. Yeah, this is Africa. Okay. What did I do wrong? Reminds me of Planet Coaster. Same company. Try this again.
Kanske din tar 20 minuter på juicen. Alltså du ser inte ens rimmer. Då? That's a rammer. Disgusting. Biome does about that. That's like a bunch of dark for one. He ran across his study.
Woo!
Cover for done, varför inte?
I know. I don't get what I'm doing wrong. All right. Okay, let me try this again. What's up, Houston? Yeah, this is Planet Zoo. Why can't I put that there? Yeah, I like it. I'm in the tutorial right now. And like I can't. I don't understand. Now it's all rainy. How? Okay, I'm not understanding a concept right now, and I think I'm really tired too. I really want to keep playing, but I'm really tired. That's what I thought. Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? What are we getting to drink? Hip shot. Loop by Lane. Hope I didn't swear in their language. Okay, what do you guys want? Alright, I think I figured it out. I think I know what I was doing wrong. So, as you see here, they carved out an opening. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas. I am getting tired. Merry Christmas. They carved out an opening to put the thing. I think that's it. If I had to. Yes. So let's carve out. All right. But I have to build around. I don't think I can just cut out the middle. Those people disappear underneath. All right. Okay, so I figured out what I was missing. Okay. What path is this? Oh yeah, I'm getting tired. Oh, I might have to go to bed before I figure out the game. Alright. Oh man, actually it's really fun. Gotta figure out a couple things. Frustration level a little high just because of, I think, tiredness now. So I think I'm gonna call it. Probably tomorrow I'll take a break from Apex and do Planet Zoo stream. Because I think this needs my full attention. So tomorrow, or I guess Christmas night. Yeah, I think the next stream is going to be all Planet Zoo. I like it. I like the potential. Feels very Planet Coaster-y because it's the same company that made that game. Even the stuff I don't like about it, like there's certain things I don't like about the format. It feels clunky when you're not used to it. And like that clunky feeling is what I'm feeling right now. Probably have to make like a whole area here, make this a habitat, stuff like that. That's the fun part. I think I was trying to do something he couldn't do, and then I just figured it out. And then now I'm just like, whatever. I'm guessing these are employee paths versus guest paths. Ah, okay, yeah. I think I'm figuring out the concept. Holy cow, I need to go to bed, but I don't want to. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Yeah, thanks, Borrow. Thanks, Justin. Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys later. And man, I think we can save. Yeah, see you tonight. Merry Christmas. Hope you got everything you wanted, needed. Hope you enjoyed the day. And I'm gonna go get some sleep. Hopefully, with my powers staying on all night, unlike last night. So, cool.